the African Chicken Genetic Gains Nigeria, a collaborative research between the International Livestock Research Institute, ILRI, and Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, was launched on July 22, 2015 at the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, IITA, Ibadan, by the Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development. The aim of the research is to transform smallholder chicken production into commercially viable enterprises that empower rural women, increase income and nutrition for their families through the delivery of more productive, locally adaptable chicken germplasms, together with production inputs and services to rural and peri-urban communities. First, a baseline survey was conducted from October to December 2015 to define and characterize current smallholder chicken production systems, chicken ecotypes, current realized productivity, husbandry practices, and the socio-economic status of poor smallholder families, and to provide a benchmark for measuring the impact of the program on households. The baseline survey was conducted in villages located in Kwara, Rivers, Imo, Nasarawa, and Kebbi states. These 5 states represent different agroecological zones. The baseline survey showed that 74% of households had male heads, while 26% had female heads across all states except Rivers State, where 50.8% of the households were headed by females. In Nasarawa and Rivers States, household heads were 40 to 49 years old. In Kebbi and Kwara States, they were between 50 and 59 years, while in Imo State, household heads were aged between 60 and 69 years. Thus, 60% of household heads across the states were 50 years and above. There were more female respondents to the questions, a total of 62.8%, 52.1% in Nasarawa, 53.7% in Kwara, 64.4% in Imo, 70.4% in Kebbi, and 73.4% in Rivers. This reflects the higher proportion of women involved in smallholder chicken production. Of the 1,168 respondent households, 80% of members of the households were below 40 years. 27% of household members had 0 years in school. 21% had 6 years in primary school, and 27% had 12 years of schooling, that is up to senior secondary school. In Kebbi State, 57% had 0 years of schooling. Significantly, none of the respondent households considered chicken production a major source of income. Household assets were not obtained through production or trading of livestock. In terms of food security and diversity, the respondent households' food supplies did not include chicken and eggs in sufficient quantity. 60% of households consumed only 4 chickens in 12 months. Egg consumption was as low as 14 eggs eaten in 12 months by 57% of households. 88% of respondent households kept local germplasms of chicken. 11% of households that were male-headed kept improved chicken germplasms compared to 3% of respondent households that were female-headed. Average flock size was 30, with a range of 5 to 245 chickens. The highest mentioned reason for keeping chicken was meat consumption, followed by sale of adult chicken before use for ceremonies and festivals. The most important trait for a cock is that it has a large body size and heavy weight, while for a hen, it is that it should produce a lot of eggs. The respondents were willing to pay for collection and preparation of feed, cleaning of bird shed or shelter, and collection and provision of water to birds in that order. The top criteria for culling chicken were age, decrease in age production, and disease concerns. The local hens produced an average of 10 eggs per clutch, while survival rate up to 1 year was 60.3%. There is very little sale of eggs and live birds after reproduction of the eggs and household consumption of birds. While 6% of respondent households sold eggs in the last 3 months, only 1% recalled sale of live birds. In 38% of households, income from poultry is controlled by women alone, and 90% of that income was devoted to basic household needs, business needs, and emergency expenses. The result of a baseline survey clearly show that the smallholder poultry producers need improved birds that are at least 200% higher in body weight and egg production than the local bird in order to provide a basis for increased production, productivity, income, and household consumption. To meet this need, ACGG-NG had to know the best germplasms to deploy. 6 tropically adapted germplasms that have been reported as dual-purpose birds were tested for performance on station and for ability to thrive under unfirm conditions in the smallholder poultry management systems. The 6 germplasms are Fulani, the germplasm kept and maintained by the Bororo clan of the Fulani. Funab Alpha, developed by Professor Mrs. Fumi Adebambo of the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, Ogun State. Koroila, developed by Keg Farms Pvt Limited, India. Noila, developed by Amo Farm Sibera Hatchery Limited, Awe, Oyo State, Nigeria. Sasso, developed by Sasso Poultry Germplasming Company Limited in France. Shika Brown, which was developed by National Animal Production Research Institute, ABU, Shika, Zaria, Kaduna State. The Kuroila and Sasso were sourced by ILRI from avian influenza-free countries, while ACGG-NG obtained all the necessary permits for the importation of hatchable eggs from the Federal Department of Veterinary Services, Abuja. There were 2 test stations, Fall Hope Farms Limited, Alakia, Ibadan, and the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, Funab, Ogun State. The on-station test started on the 18th May 2016 until August 6, 2018. There were 3 phases of testing: starter phase, grower phase, and the layer phase. Data was statistically analyzed for 3 traits: growth performance, egg production, and mortality or survival. The results for mortality during starter phase were Fulani 0%, Shika Brown 3%, Noila 3.6%, Funab Alpha 6%, Sasso 13%, and Koroila 41%. Average across all germplasms was 11.1%. Body weight for the different germplasms taken at 6 weeks was Noila, males 714 grams, females 642 grams. Kuroila, males 625 grams, females 571 grams. Sasso, 525 grams for males, 464 grams for females. Funab Alpha, 398 grams for males, 364 grams for females. Shika Brown, 284 grams for males, 277 grams for females. Fulani, 218 grams for males, 203 grams for females. Compared with the local cock weight on station at 6 weeks of 181 grams, the improved performances of the germplasms were as follows. Sasu, Kuroila, Noila, and Funab Alpha were 148% more efficient in converting feed to body weight. Grower face mortality rates were 6.5% in Fulani, 10.5% in Funab Alpha, 4% in Shika Brown, 12% in Kuroila, 5% in Sasu, and 10.1% in Noila. The live weights of males and females at 20 weeks were Sasu, 2,962 grams for males, 2,291 grams for females. Kuroila, 2,894 grams for males, 2,419 grams for females. And Noila, 2,599 grams for males, 1,992 grams for females. Funab Alpha, 2,097 grams for males, 1,717 grams for females. Shika Brown, 1,697 grams for males, 1,338 grams for females. And Fulani, 1,320 grams for males, 1,028 grams for females. Comparing 20-week body weight of the males with previously reported 20-week body weight of 1,200 of the male Nigerian local chicken on station, the performance of the improved germplasms was as follows. Sasu, 247%. Kuroila, 241%. Noila, 216%. Funab Alpha, 175%. Shika Brown, 141%, and Fulani, 110%. The dressing percentage of carcasses of 20-week males was Noila, 69.3%, Funab Alpha, 65.8%, Sasu, 64%, Kuroila, 63.2%, Shika Brown, 61.6%, and Fulani, 60.9%. Therefore, based on the mortality rate, body weight, feed conversion ratio, and dressing percent for males during the growing phase, it was concluded that the ranking of the germplasms for meat production was as follows. Sasu, Noila, Kuroila, Funab Alpha, Shika Brown, and Fulani. Age at first egg during the layer phase was as follows. Egg production per bird per year was in the order. Shika Brown, 192. Funab Alpha, 190. Noila, 173. Kuroila, 127. Fulani, 88. And Sasu, 75. Compared with the local bird egg production on deep litter of 80 eggs per year, the performance was as follows. Shika Brown, 240%. Funab Alpha, 237%. Noila, 216%. Kuroila, 159%. Fulani, 110%. And Sasu, 94%. Average egg weight was in the order. Shika Brown and Noila, 56 grams. Sasu, 55 grams. Kuroila, 54 grams. Funab Alpha, 49 grams. And Fulani, 40 grams. The performance compared to the egg weight of 35 grams for the local was 160%, 157%, 154%, 140%, and 117% respectively. For the laying period, average mortality was as follows: Fulani 7%, Shika Brown 17%, Kuroila 20.5%, Noila 21.7%, Funab Alpha 24.5%, and Sasu 25.5%. Using age at first egg, egg number produced per year, egg weight, mortality and survival probability, give a ranking of the germplasms for egg production as follows: Shika Brown, Funab Alpha, Noila, Kuroila, Fulani, and Sasu. Results from the on-station tests indicates that all the 6 germplasms are adapted to the tropical environment. The aim of the on-farm tests was to determine the performance of the improved germplasms under the scavenging management systems and to identify the 2 most preferred germplasms by farmers. All the 6 germplasms were tested in each village. About 65% of the farmers that participated in the on-farm study were women. The model for selecting the on-farm test sites was a state, 3 senatorial districts, 6 local government areas, 12 villages, 420 households, and 12,600 birds distributed per state, that is 30 birds per farmer. The on-farm tests began on August 26, 2016 and ran till August 9, 2018. 6 weeks old pre-vaccinated chicks were distributed to participating farmers. 60 field officers were engaged and trained to assist the farmers carry out the on-farm research. A field officer was assigned to each village and given a tablet computer which was pre-installed with the ODK tool for data collection. The field officers, working with the farmers, weighed birds, eggs and feed supplements provided and recorded bird exits and entries up till 20 weeks for the cocks and up till 72 weeks for the hens. On-farm starter phase results showed that within the mother units, average mortality across all states was 15.7%, compared with the average mortality of 11.1% obtained for the same phase on station. Generally, the mortality of Kuroila was the highest, 28.7%, when compared with other strains across the 5 zones. The lowest mortalities observed during brooding were 3.6 for Fulani in Kebbi, 4.0 for Funab Alpha in Kwara, and 4.7 for Funab Alpha in Kebbi. The highest mortalities were 31.7 for Kuroila in Kwara, 29.2 for Kuroila in both Imo and Rivers, and 29.0 for Shika Brown in Nasarawa. Body weight attained in each agroecology across germplasms was 556 grams in Kwara, 481 grams in Imo, 419 grams in Kebbi, 377 grams in Nasarawa, and 352 grams in Rivers. 6 weeks body weight performance for germplasms was 772 grams for Noila, 600 grams for Kuroila, 540 grams for Sasu, 466 grams for Funab Alpha, 323 grams for Shika Brown, and 255 grams for Fulani. Compared with the body weight of local cocks at 6 weeks of 181 grams, the improvement in performance of the germplasms was Noila 427%, Kuroila 331%, Sasu 298%, Funab Alpha 257%, Shika Brown 178%, and Fulani 141%. The performance of the germplasms for feed conversion ratio during the starter phase was 3.3. with the fast-growing germplasms separated from the slow growers as follows. Noila, 2.3. Sasu, 2.7. Corolla, 2.9. Funab Alpha, 3.2. Shika Brown, 4.1. And Fulani, 4.3. Using mortality, body weight, and feed conversion ratio, the performance of the germplasms in the starter phase are ranked as follows. Noila, Sasu, Corolla, Funab Alpha, Shika Brown, and Fulani. In the on-farm grower phase, mortality rate for Funab Alpha and Corolla was lowest, 17%, and highest, 29% for male birds respectively, while Fulani and Sasu had the lowest, 21%, and highest, 30% for female birds. At 18 weeks, the highest body weights for males were achieved as follows. Noila, 1,679 grams in Nasarawa. Funab Alpha, 1,668 grams in Kwara. Sasu, 1,666 grams in Imo. Corolla, 1,572 grams in Imo. Fulani, 1,152 grams in Kebbi. And Shika Brown, 1,098 grams in Imo, respectively. Comparing these body weights of improved germplasms with the on-farm local cock body weight at 18 weeks of 680 grams shows the performance of the improved germplasms to be 161% Shika Brown, 169% Fulani, 231% Corolla, 245% Sasu, 245% Funab Alpha, and 247% Noila. For females at 18 weeks, the highest body weight achieved was as follows. Noila, 1,665 grams in Nasarawa. Corolla, 1,448 grams in Imo. Sasu, 1,414 grams in Imo. Funab Alpha, 1,244 grams in Kebbi. Shika Brown, 970 grams in Imo. And Fulani, 970 grams in Kebbi, respectively. Using mortality, average body weight, highest body weight for males in comparison with local cock weight, the germplasms are ranked as follows. Noila, Corolla, Sasu, Funab Alpha, and a tie between Shika Brown and Fulani. In the on-farm layer phase, the age at first egg across the zones was 154 days. In Kwara, Noila, Shika Brown. Rivers, Funab Alpha, Corolla, and Sasu. Imo, all strains except Fulani. Nasarawa, all strains except Fulani and Corolla. And Kebbi, all strains except Noila and Shika Brown. The age at first egg of the improved strains was reduced by 29 days compared to the improved strains on station and represents 4% reduction compared with the Nigerian local chickens. For egg production, Shika Brown produced the highest number of eggs on survivor birds basis, 57 per bird, followed by Noila, 51 eggs, Corolla, 36 eggs, Fulani, 35, Funab Alpha, 35, and Sasu, 23 eggs. Sasu laid the biggest eggs, average egg weight of 56 grams. Egg production by Shika Brown was 190%, and by Sasu was 77% when compared with the Nigerian local chicken's production of 30 eggs. The mean survival rate across germplasms and zones was 69.1% with Noila, 77%, Shika Brown, 73.1%, and Funab Alpha, 69.4%, being above the mean, while Corolla, 67.2%, Fulani, 65.8%, and Sasu, 62.3%, were below the mean. Using mortality rate, egg number produced, survival rate, and proportion of household retaining them, the germplasms are ranked as follows. Shika Brown, Noila, Funab Alpha, Corolla, Fulani, and SASO for their performance during the layer phase. The local germplasms, Fulani, Funab Alpha, Noila, and Shika Brown, formed a cluster of higher survivability potential, while the imported germplasms, Corolla and SASO, had lower survivability, which was still more than 70% for both male and female birds. The germplasm preference of the farmers, as indicated during the community innovation platforms, is currently in two parts. SASO and Corolla are preferred for meat production, while Shika Brown and Funab Alpha are preferred for egg production. From the baseline survey, on-station and on-farm tests, it is recommended that the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development's Livestock Productivity and Resilience Enhancement Support Program, state governments, and private investors recognize smallholder poultry as a distinct value chain and the great potential it holds for accelerating poultry productivity and human development in Nigeria. ACGG-NG data can justify such recognition. The innovation platform is being used to co-create solutions to problems and challenges to the smallholder poultry production identified by stakeholders at the national and community levels. After the fourth edition, the National Innovation Platform, NIP, was transformed into the Smallholder Poultry Forum, SPF, to ensure the sustainability of the NIP after ACGG ends. The goal for the Community Innovation Platforms, CIP, was to have the 12 of them in each state develop into cooperatives. So far, 57 cooperatives have been registered with the respective state governments. ACGG Gender Strategy Advisory Team, a gender champion, a gender expert, have guided our gender inclusion, engagement, and empowerment of all stakeholders at every level. With the assistance of the ILRI International Gender Advisors, a number of research questions and areas of gender inquiry for ACGG Nigeria were identified. Using gender analysis of the smallholder chicken value chain and results of other gender inquiries, we have sought to better understand A. Women's social and economic condition and position at different nodes of the value chain. B. Gender gaps in chicken value chain. C. What women's empowerment means. As part of capacity building efforts, 10 students were awarded the ACGG-NG postgraduate fellowships. 5 fellowships each were awarded for MSc and PhD. ACGG-NG also sponsored 10 postgraduate students to attend 3 different international training workshops. A web of partners has developed around the vision of transforming smallholder poultry in Nigeria. A significant result of collaboration was the approval by the Veterinary Council of Nigeria and the development of a curriculum for the Community Animal Health Worker Scheme. The credit for this belongs largely to Propcom McCarthy. ACGG-NG has participated in several exhibitions in Nasarawa, Kwara, Rivers, Osun, Lagos, and Abuja. One major exhibition was the National Technology and Innovation Trade Fair, Abuja, from 3rd to 7th April 2017. The Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu, was introduced to the project and taken round to the ACGG-NG exhibition booth. ACGG-NG deploys mass media on television, radio, newspapers, and social media to create awareness of the project. To engage the academia, 2 national colloquiums were held on poultry, germplasm, and genetics, as well as poultry feeds and feeding. One outcome is the development of a mobile application for smallholder feed formulation. ACGG-NG has reached out to 11 secondary schools in Rivers, Imo, and Kebbi states, donating an average of 25 birds to each school. The sale of live birds has provided income to the beneficiaries to support their livelihoods and increase household assets. Household consumption of egg and meat has also improved due to increased performance of the introduced strains compared to the local chicken. Inevitably, the introduction of the improved germplasms is shifting the orientation of farmers from subsistence poultry keeping or hobby to a market-oriented enterprise or business. Some cooperatives have placed orders for the tested germplasms that are available. The delivery of a feed formulation application that allows the use of locally available feed ingredients will contribute to this shift by meeting the challenge of feeding the improved strains for increased productivity. ACGG-NG is implemented by a 75-member all-Nigerian staff made up of 60 full-time field officers, 5 full-time on-station officers, and 3 full-time national officers, 5 state coordinators, 1 gender expert, and 2 principal investigators.